Hi guys and welcome back. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make this pink velvet cake. Let's begin. To get started on the recipe, you'll want to make the buttermilk alternative. So grab your milk and place in the vinegar, then mix until well combined, set aside until needed later on. Then into another mixing bowl, add in all of your self-rising flour, followed by the sugar and your raisin agents. Then give this a brief mix just to combine it. Use a hand mixer or a whisk, whichever you have to hand or whichever you find easiest to use. So then adding in the use of an electric hand mixer will make this a lot easier. While the mixer is still going, just add in all of your wet ingredients and just mix until it's all fully incorporated. You may want to add the food colouring in with the milk, but that's completely optional, you don't have to. But then just mix until it's fully incorporated. You should see no traces of a single ingredient apart from around the very top edge, where we'll scrape down and give the bowl a good scraping down just to incorporate any bits that may not have been fully worked in from earlier on. Then we divide the batter between 3 6-inch cake tins, and I did weigh mine, but I lost that bit of footage for some reason. Here is what they look like. You'll then want to place them into your preheated oven and bake them off. All that information will be in the blog post, which will be linked down below, so don't forget to check it out if you're interested in making this. So to make the buttercream, grab yourself a small saucepan and place in the water and sugar, then mix the two together until they're fully combined. Place on the hob over a medium-high heat and allow it to come to 121 degrees Celsius. While you're doing that, you can also grab yourself a stand mixing bowl, place in your egg yolks followed by a whole egg, and then whisk this on a high speed until the mixture is lighter and fluffier in colour and consistency. It takes around 5 to 7 minutes, but it can take a little bit longer for the perfect consistency. You'll be able to see a massive difference like that, and it gets even lighter for the longer you mix it. So you want to mix it until it's lighter and fluffier, and it should have increased in volume. Once it has, you can then go ahead and pour in the hot liquid sugar mix. Just do this very carefully, you don't want to get this on your skin as it will burn. Once it's incorporated, you can then turn the mixer back up and have it on high and mix until the bottom of the bowl can be touched with the back of your hand. The mixture should also be a pale yellow colour. Then you can start adding in your butter chunk at a time until it's all fully incorporated. You may think that your mixture isn't coming together, but it is. Then mix fully on a high speed for around 5 to 7 minutes more until it's pale white or pale yellow like what I've got here. Then give your bowl a good scraping down, and this is just to incorporate any bits that may not have been fully worked in from earlier on, but don't worry, if you've done it correctly it should be fine. So then to make the drip, you'll just want to grab yourself a bowl with some white chocolate in, add in the double cream and mix these together until they are fully incorporated and coated. Then place into the microwave and melt on 30-second bursts at a time, no longer or no less. I find 30 seconds works really well. Here's what it was like after a minute, but it needed a little bit longer, so for me it was about 1.5 minutes, but make sure you do that in around 30-second intervals, and then just add in your oil-based food colouring and mix until it's fully incorporated. I wanted a pink drip, but feel free to alternate the colour. I went with quite a dark drip, but you can go with light. To start the assembly of the cake, you can go ahead, grab your plate board or stand and place a bit of buttercream into the centre of it. Place your first layer of cake on top and then press it down. That will just help secure it in place. Pipe a ring around the outer edge of the cake and then fill the centre. Spread and level out as best as you possibly can. To ensure that your cake isn't lopsided, make sure your cakes are levelled. So you've taken the top off. I didn't do that because I'm lazy and I can pretty much do it without having to level the cakes, but I do recommend it. Then repeat the process until you have no layers of cake left. Then around the outer edge of the cake, in one consistent piping, go ahead and add your buttercream. You can do this however you like. I like to fill up a piping bag and just pipe around the outer edge. It doesn't look neat right now, but don't worry, that it doesn't need to be. Pipe on top as well, spread and level that first. I always start with the top, then the sides, and then end up going back to the top, so it doesn't really make too much sense. But do it however you would like. Smooth out the sides as best as you can, and you may notice that I changed scraper because this small scraper wasn't tall enough, and then my longer scraper was. So just keep going around and try and do it in one clean sweep. That's why you keep seeing my arm, because the angle I had this at was not ideal. And once you're happy with how smooth the cake is, you can then go ahead and place it into the fridge to firm up for a little bit, as my buttercream was starting to get soft. But if yours isn't, don't worry, that's fine. You can always go on to the next stage, which is just applying a sprinkled border around the bottom of the cake. Again, this is optional and doesn't necessarily need to be done, but I like it, so it's up to you. Before you do that, get rid of the scraggly edge around the top of the cake, and as you can tell, mine is pretty level, pretty consistent. I'm using these Halo sprinkles. I brought these at Cake International last year, and I thought they'd look great on this cake, so here we are. This is the border I was on about. It doesn't need to be perfect and level, unless you want it to be, then fine, but I don't. I like a little bit of inconsistency. Then you can go ahead and apply the drip to the cake, which is really simple. Place the ganache into a piping bag and then just pipe around the outer edge of the cake. And I like to have a various amount of drips of length, so you can have some short, some long, so just pipe a little bit more on one, then less, more or less, or however you'd want to. Then pipe around the outer edge again, just to create more of a border or a dam. Then fill the rest with the ganache and just spread it out and level it. I recommend then placing the cake in the fridge for around 30 to 40 minutes, and then it should be firmed up. Then you can go ahead and pipe on the rosette. You can do as many or as few as you'd like. I went with 8, but feel free to do more or less. That's really up to you. I can't tell you how many to make. Then you may remember that we made some meringue kisses earlier in the week, so here's where they come to use. But before we apply the meringues, I just use some more of those same sprinkles from the bottom, and I apply them on the rosettes on top. Then you can go ahead and top each rosette with a meringue, and again, this is completely optional, doesn't have to be done, but it adds height, texture, flavour, why not? I place my cake into the fridge for another half an hour, then cut it up. Just makes it easy to slice up, but I always recommend leaving cake to room temperature for 30 minutes to enjoy it the most. Then you can go ahead and cut yourself a slice. You've got 3 layers of pink velvet cake with a pretty looking cake for Valentine's Day, so why not? So thank you so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more from me, and I'll be back again very soon with another recipe, so join me then. In the meanwhile, don't forget to check out the description, there'll be a link to this recipe, a link to my blog, and links to all my social media. But that's all for today, I hope you enjoyed. Bye guys.